right now I want to go over just working on a beat. We have a sequence, it's just a loop, but transitioning from just a loop or a sequence into an actual song. I know in MPC 3.0, having the arranger allows me to build a song as I'm building a beat. Previously in MPC 2.0, I would have to build a beat first and then jump into song mode and start attaching all the sequences, and it was a bit separated from the creative side. So right now, I'm able to combine the creativity of beat making and also the arrangement of my actual track. Now, before I do jump into that, I do want to remind you, if you are in need of any audio gear and you want to support my channel, check out my links to Zounds. As a matter of fact, I'll just have a link to the Zounds website. If you want to shop any audio gear, it does support my channel without costing you anything extra. And also, Zounds is the spot to shop. That's where I got my MPC Live. I did the 4 payment plans with them. And if it weren't for those payment plans, I would not have this MPC Live right in front of me. So make sure you guys go ahead and check out Zounds. And also, if you guys are looking for any stands for your MPC, check out Analog Cases. They have the best stands for your MPC Live, MPC One. Check out my SP1200. This thing is heavy. It's on an Analog Cases XTS stand. This thing does not go anywhere. It's protected. It's safe. So if you need any protection for your MPCs, guitar pedals, check out Analog Cases. I'll leave a link down in the description of this video. Let's get right into it. All right, so I have this beat right here, and as I'm building this beat, it's just a sequence 1. It sounds awesome. I'm loving the way it's coming along. I'm excited. I'm just feeling the way it's coming together. At this point, it's nothing too complex. It's just 2 tracks, my drums and my sample chops. But at this point is where I kind of get repetitive loop and I feel like I'm cornered, where it's like, where do I go next? How do I get creative where maybe I can add a separate version of this verse or of this idea, or maybe I can add an intro. I've done many videos on this, but I want to focus this on working with the main page, which is just where I see all my tracks, and the arranger, how I jump back and forth between these 2 pages. Let's go ahead and listen to what I have right now so far in this sequence. Oh man, that sounds awesome. I'm loving the way it sounds. It's an awesome sequence, but how do we get creative? How do I add different sections of that record? That sample that I brought into the MPC is actually chopped up all the way from bank A to bank B. This is what I have with that sample. And then in bank B, now, quick side note, if any of my subscribers want to download these sample chops the way I've already have them chopped, if you're part of my Patreon, go ahead and download this sample chop program. You guys can load this up into your MPC. You could follow along with me or just recreate your own flip with some of these chops that I have right here. So in this track, there was 2 sections of the song that I sampled. Bank A has got some vocals in the background, and bank B, which is just the guitar. That's what I'm using for my main idea. But I feel like as this is repeating after the 4th bar, I want to bring in some of those vocals to just throw in the background of this beat. Now, what do I do right here? There's 2 ways we can go about this. I could either copy this sequence 1. I can copy it by hitting this pencil icon and hitting copy sequence, and I can paste it into sequence number 2, and then I'll have sequence 1 with just guitar and drums, and then sequence 2 with the guitar, drums, and those vocals. Or I can just jump into the arranger. Once I go into the arranger, if I zoom out, I can see this arranger is 4 bars because it's representing the sequence that I'm currently on. Well, what I want to do is I want to double length this sequence. I want to make this go from 4 bars to 8 bars. I just want to copy those 4 bars and duplicate that. How can I do that? Well, being right here within the arranger page, I hit this pencil icon, and right here you're going to see double length. Select that, and now it's a total of 8 bars. So technically, instead of working with 2 separate sequences, because I don't want to be jumping back and forth, I'd rather stay within the same sequence so I don't have to repeat the entire 8 bars. I could just use this selector up here, grab my finger, and just select bars 5 through 8. I just want to work on those bars, and that's where I want to bring in the vocals, which actually I duplicated the sample track. And on the separate duplicate, I just put a high pass filter so we don't hear too much low end, and I just want to focus on those vocals. That's what I want to add on top. So what I want to do is the first 4 bars is going to play back what we just heard. It's just the guitar and drums. And then on the 5th bar, I want to bring in this vocal chop. Oh, that's it. It's just, I'm going to be hitting pad 1 repeatedly for 3 bars, and then I'll just wrap it up with bar 15 and 16, or pad 15 and 16. So let's go ahead and record that. I'm going to hit record, play, start, and it's going to start me right here on bar 5. So I don't have to play the whole entire 8 bars. I could just start right here. This is why I love the arranger. Now, if you are part of my course, I have a course on the MPC, I go over the whole entire arranger from start to finish. I have a chapter where we explore the power of the arranger. This is so powerful, and getting familiar with something like the arranger and knowing the difference between the arranger page versus the grid editor, knowing when to use one versus the other, that could be very helpful as you're building your beats. Just the other week, I made a video on the grid editor and how I'm using it for my drums. Well, now I'm using the arranger, and I might jump into the grid editor every now and then just for a few sample chops that I might want to use. Again, more information on these 2 pages where we go deep into detail within the course. So if you want more information on that, go ahead and sign up. I'd love to have you there with us. All right, so keeping it simple, I'm gonna hit record, play, start, and let's add those vocal chops. Yo, that is so cool. So now we have some variation. Now I'm able to play around with just an extra element that I added within this loop or this sequence idea that I first started with. I always say this, but a sequence to me is just like scratch paper, is an idea where I get to try crazy things out, and something is fine. I'm finding connection with an idea. What is an idea? It could be drums and a sample chop, and I'm just throwing different chops on top of those drums until something's resonating with me and I'm bobbing my head and I'm like, you know what? This is actually coming together very nice. Most of the times when I talk to people, one of the number 1 struggles that I hear is, all right, cool, I have an awesome sounding loop, but how do I expand from that loop? Well, this is the way we're driving that idea for something that we can play back for minutes that we do not get tired of. Now, right here, we have 2 different sections of a verse. Now, we can even grab this right here, which is 8 bars, hit the pencil icon, and we can double length that again. Now we have 16 bars right here. The really cool thing is that if we have 16 bars, as we get those vocal chops right here, when it comes back to the beginning, I want to drop out those drums. Let's say I want to drop out those drums right there, which is going to be on bar 9. I could zoom in. I already put my selector right there. I'm going to select my drums. I can select whatever track I want by just clicking it. pressing it. And right away, as I press my drums, I can now open up this little arrow icon down here. And if I click that, I have a split screen of the arranger so I can see the information of what is being played. And then at the bottom right here, I can see the notes within that track that I have selected. So if I have the drum selected, I can see all the notes on how I laid down those drums. If I select my sample chops, now I can see the performance of those sample chops. Very fast and convenient for me to go in there right away and make a quick edit to a specific part of the song or of the sequence, right? I call it a song because now we're starting to build this up into an actual song. I'm gonna zoom in right here, open this up a bit more, and right here we have our hi-hats, we have our kick, and we have our snare. For this first beats that comes in, I'm gonna drop out those hi-hats, cut, and I wanna listen to how this is going to sound right after it comes back. So I'm gonna select a bar before bar 9. So now I'm gonna go a bar before. I'm not gonna go all the way to bar 1 because then we're gonna have to listen to the whole entire loop, which is gonna be way too long. I'm playing back with the selector and the sequence on what I'm viewing. I'm just now dialing in. It's like tuning a damn guitar. I'm just making small minor adjustments until it sounds good to me. And now I play back a bar before. Let's hear how that sounds. I love it. I love how that sounds. I just took off hi-hats from that bar on itself. That is so cool. Now, this is the power of being able to build a song and I'm still being creative. Back in 2.0, it was just separating the creative side versus the song building technical side. Now, I'm able to stay, like right now, I'm just feeling good. I feel the energy of me being creative and delivering with certain switch ups of my beat. And I'm still able to make those changes in real time in this arranger page. Hopefully this is making sense and I'm not sounding crazy. Sometimes I do feel like I'm crazy, but hey, you know what? I'm loving what I'm getting out of this craziness, so I'm sticking to it. Now, that's cool. You guys can go ahead and grab the selector, continue to listen to your song, and if something that you feel should happen in a certain bar, you go ahead and select that bar and drop it out, cut it out, or add something different that will make that specific bar that you're looking for stand out if that's what you want to do. Now, what if I want to add intro to this so it can drop into the actual beat? Very easy. Within this arranger page, I hit this little pencil icon. I'm going to insert bars. How many bars do you think your intro might be? For me, I'm gonna make it 4 bars. So right here, number of bars, I'm gonna make it 4 bars, and it's gonna ask me, where do I want to insert these 4 bars? I'm gonna put it before bar 1. Hit do it, and now I have an extra 4 bars that I can play with and build up so the beat drops into what we hear right here. So I'm gonna go into this duplicated sample track, which has that filter. You know what? I actually took some time. I edit a big old chunk from this video, but I realized that I don't want to do 4 bars. I actually just want to do 2 bars. How do I get rid of 2 bars if I'm just in the situation that I'm in? I could just select these 2 bars, hit the pencil icon, and hit delete bars. Bar 1 all the way to bar 2, hit do it, and now we're back to 2 bars. That sounds awesome. Now, real quick, just because I felt it when I'm hearing it right now as I played it from the start, and I felt like somewhere at the ending of bar 2, I want to hear some type of effect or note repeats on that guitar sample. So I'm gonna loop these 2 bars right here. I'm gonna go to my main page and go into that sample that we're using. I'm gonna jump into my FX. I'm gonna add a sample, and I'm going to add Flex Beat Player. Open that up. All right, so as you can see how I just started off with what most of us start off with while we're making beats on your MPC. Their ideas, I don't think anybody starts with a track already finished completely in mind. At least for me, most of the records that I sample, they're just possible. It's a possibility that I can hear something build from there. It could be a 50-50. I'll hear a record, I'm like, yeah, it sounds awesome. I sample it into my MPC, I bring in some drums, and it's not what I thought it would be. And as I'm in the idea stage, which is where we all start off, it's just a sequence. It could be a 4-bar sequence, with 2-bar sequence. It's just a simple idea. If the connection builds and I have that spark, and then that's where I initiate what we're doing right now. We go from that idea into the arranger and start building from there. As like right now, I'm playing this back. There's an intro, there's a verse, there's like a switch up from the verse, there's a few drops that I'm adding every other bar, developing this 2-bar idea or this 4-bar idea that I started with. Now, the reason why I'm able to do this is because I feel comfortable working with this arranger page. I get it. There's a lot going on in MPC 3.0 and it is a bit daunting, but I promise you, if you just focus on the tools that you need at the moment, do not try to learn the whole thing at once. Just focus on the few tools that you know you're going to use. Rinse and repeat those tools or workflow on how to use some of those tools. Become comfortable where this is second nature to you. There's times where I'm building a beat and I don't even know how and when I went from just a 2-bar loop into what we have right here, 16 bars or 20 bars, and it's an actual song that's starting to come together. That all happens through just repetition and getting very familiar and comfortable with my MPC. I'm using the MPC Live right here, but I also have the MPC X. I'm still borrowing it, and I also have the MPC One, MPC Keys. But I'll tell you right now, if you learn the MPC software, no matter which MPC you go with after that, you're going to feel right at home. Guys, I'm super thankful to be here. I'm happy to just film, make a video. I haven't made a video in a while. This brings the excitement out in me, and just a lot been going on in life, just personal stuff, but it feels good to be doing what you love, and just me sitting down right here filming, it just refreshes my mind. So if you've made it to this point of the video, let me know down in the comments if you made it to this point, but thank you for being here. It truly means a lot to me to have somebody watching a video of mine. I always remind myself what a blessing it is to be doing this and having somebody watching. So thank you so much for just investing your time into one of my videos. Even if you watch just a few minutes of it, it truly means a lot. This quick little setup that I have right here, because I already know I'm going to get a bunch of questions on this piece on my right hand side. I actually do see a little bit right here on the camera. This is the Chroma console. I'm going to make an entire video on Chroma console. There's going to be an unboxing coming right around the corner. I just have not finished it because there's a lot to learn from the Chroma console, and I want to make sure I understand some of the basics of it. This is awesome. I'll make a video on this separately. If you want to watch that, make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here. I'll catch y'all on our next video. Peace.